The genetic scanner let out a cold, sterile beep. That's impossible. Elena stood frozen in front of the screen. The text displayed clearly, emotionless, undeniable. 100% biological match with Julian Vance, 0% with her. Run the sample again. Her voice was dry. We already ran it 3 times, the assistant replied, hands trembling slightly. The results don't change. Elena shook her head. No, something's wrong. Leo is my son. I carried him myself. No one answered. The room fell completely silent. She stared at the data as if she could burn through it with her eyes. If the system is correct, she whispered, then that child doesn't carry my DNA. A suffocating pause. Then whose child did I give birth to? Without waiting another second, Elena stormed into Vance Genomics' central security system. Access IVF records from 5 years ago. The system processed, then returned a single line. File not found. That's not possible. Elena clenched her fists. Try highest level admin access. I did. All embryonic data has been deleted. Completely wiped. No trace left. Deleted from the outside? No. Whoever did it had internal access, top-level clearance. The air in the room turned ice cold. The list, Elena said slowly. There are only 3 people, you, the board of directors, and... A pause. Say it. Julian Vance? Her heart skipped. Not a hacker, not a rival. The enemy was inside her home. That night, rain pounded against the car windows. Elena sat motionless, eyes locked on the apartment across the street. He comes here every week, the detective said quietly. The lights turned on. Julian walked in, relaxed, comfortable, like that was his real home. Elena tightened her grip on the steering wheel. Wait. Another figure emerged from the shadows. A woman? Julian stepped forward and wrapped his arms around her from behind. Intimate, familiar. A version of him Elena had never seen. Turn around, she muttered. The woman turned. Light hit her face. Elena froze, her breath caught in her throat. No, that's not possible. That face, it looked like hers. Every feature, every expression, like staring into a mirror. The next morning, an old file was placed in front of Elena. A faded photograph, 2 identical children. You were never an only child, the old housekeeper said, her voice low. Elena shook her head. No? You had a twin sister. Her name was Iris. The air seemed to vanish. She was kidnapped when she was 3. The family covered it up. The name echoed in Elena's mind like a blade. Iris, the face from the apartment last night. Elena, the housekeeper continued. Someone found her. Elena closed her eyes. Julian? Everything shattered. This wasn't random betrayal. It was a plan, set in motion long before the marriage began. Since when? She whispered. Since before you got married. Elena laughed, a hollow, chilling sound. Then Leo. Her voice trembled. He's not my son. He's Julian's and Iris's. Silence, heavy, cruel. And they put him inside me. No tears fell, only her eyes turning colder by the second. I'm not his mother, she whispered. I was just the perfect incubator. And in that moment, Elena realized something even more terrifying. She had never been a wife. She had never been a mother. She was only a piece of their plan. Elena said nothing more. She still smiled at Julian every night, still kissed Leo on the cheek before bed, still played the role of the perfect wife. But beneath that calm, a hunt had begun. Access my father's will, she murmured to her private system. The data appeared, each line cut into her eyes like a blade. The inheritance will only be activated when the heir produces a descendant bearing the distinctive genetic marker of the Vance bloodline. Elena zoomed in on the gene sequence. An extremely rare mutation, a unique, identifying signature. Not just anyone who looks like me qualifies, she whispered. Only me can trigger the will. She stepped back, her heart pounding. So that's why. Everything clicked. Julian hadn't chosen the wrong woman. He needed her body, her womb, to carry his child with Iris. A child almost genetically identical to Elena, yet still carrying the valid marker. Elena closed her eyes. This isn't an affair. Her voice turned ice cold. This is a takeover plan. She opened her eyes. They're trying to steal the entire empire, using my own body. And for the first time, Elena understood her place in this game. Not the victim, but the tool. Elena began gathering evidence, recording, tracking finances, documenting Julian's every move. One more step. She told herself, divorce, take Leo back, end this. But she was late, too late. A shareholders meeting, blinding lights. Elena, are you okay? Someone asked. She blinked. Everything started to warp. Sound stretched, images blurred. No, She grabbed her head, her heart racing wildly. Someone is talking inside my head. The room erupted. Elena, what are you saying? She spun around and saw Julian, standing there, calm, observing, as if he had been waiting for this moment all along. You? Elena gasped. What did you do to me? Julian didn't answer. He only frowned slightly as if concerned. Maybe she needs to rest, he told the room. Elena laughed, a shattered, broken sound. No, you're poisoning me. The room fell silent. One shareholder stood up. We cannot allow an unstable person to run this company. Elena froze. She looked around. No one stood with her. Only suspicion, fear, distance. Hours later, a document was filed in court. Julian Vance, petitioning for full custody and control of the corporation. Reason, mental instability. Elena clenched her fists. You don't just want the assets, she whispered. You want to erase me from everything. The metal door slammed shut. You'll be taken care of here, the doctor said. An isolated psychiatric facility. No phone, no communication, no way out. Elena sat on the bed, her eyes empty, until the door opened. Someone walked in. Tall, elegant, wearing clothes familiar, too familiar. Elena looked up. Her breath caught. Hello, sister. Iris. But not just Iris, she was wearing Elena's clothes. Makeup like Elena. Even her smile was the same. You really had a beautiful life, Iris said, slowly stepping closer. The house, the company, the husband. She leaned down, looked straight into Elena's eyes. All of it should have been mine. Elena clenched her fists. You won't get away with this. Iris laughed. Get away? She tilted her head. I'm stepping in. She straightened, adjusted her collar. And you are disappearing. Elena lunged forward, but was restrained. Iris leaned in close, her lips near Elena's ear, whispering, Thank you for raising my son so well. A beat, her voice soft as a blade. Now it's time for you to disappear. Elena could no longer feel the passage of time. Day or night, they were all the same. Only the cold white lights and silence. Everything had been taken away. Her name, her company, her life. And Leo. The old television in the corner of the room suddenly flickered on. Welcome to the 30th anniversary celebration of Vance Genomics. Elena looked up. The screen revealed a dazzling scene, bright lights, applause, and her. Not her. Iris, wearing her face, smiling flawlessly, standing beside Julian, as if nothing had ever happened. Elena Vance, the icon of the biotechnology industry, the host announced. Elena laughed, a dry, hollow laugh. An icon, she whispered, or the one who was replaced. Then she saw Leo. The little boy stood at the center of the stage. His eyes were red with tears. Where's Mom? I want my mommy. Elena felt as though her heart were being crushed. Leo. She pressed her hand against the screen. Iris bent down, pulled Leo closer. Stop making a scene, she whispered, but the microphone still picked it up. Leo burst into even louder sobs. No, she's not my mommy. The entire ballroom erupted in murmurs. Julian quickly pulled the boy into his arms. He's just tired, he said with a smile. But his eyes were ice cold. Elena shot to her feet. Oh no, she whispered. They're erasing me from my son's memory. She took a step back. No tears came. Only one thing rose inside her. Something stronger than pain. Instinct. No, her voice slowly steadied. I'm not allowed to break. She stared at the screen. Her eyes changed. I'm a scientist. A beat. If they're using science to destroy me, she clenched her fist. I'll use it to destroy them all. That night, Elena didn't sleep. She observed every pill she was given, every reaction inside her body. Increased heart rate, cognitive suppression, mild hallucinations. She murmured, This isn't treatment, it's a neural control agent. She began hiding the pills, analyzing them, combining them. A small compound created from substances that seemed completely harmless. A temporary counteragent. She looked at the liquid in her hand. If I'm wrong, I'll die. A long silence. She drank it. A few seconds, nothing. Then a violent pain tore through her head. Elena collapsed. No, I can't pass out. She gritted her teeth, her fingernails digging into her skin. Then suddenly, everything became clear again. The sounds, the light, her consciousness. She gasped for air. I'm awake. For the first time in days, she was truly conscious. The next morning, a doctor walked into the room, stopped, looked at her. You're different. Elena met his gaze. Dr. Chen. He froze. You remember me? I remember everything. A moment of silence. My father once saved your career, Elena said slowly. Now I need you to save my life. Dr. Chen clenched his fists. Do you know what you're asking me to do? Elena nodded. Help me escape. And if I help you, you'll get everything back, she cut in. And if you don't, she tilted her head, the next person to be replaced could be you. A long silence followed. Then come with me, he said quietly. The door opened. For the first time, there were no locks, no guards, only a path forward. Elena stepped across the threshold, took a deep breath, never looked back. The night sky outside was cold and endless, freedom. But she didn't stop. She didn't call the police. She didn't ask for help. She understood now. The law wasn't enough to defeat them. Elena climbed into the car. Her voice was low, steady as steel. Take me to Laboratory 7, the place that had been sealed off for years. The place where her father had left his final secret. She looked straight ahead. There was no more pain in her eyes, only a plan. Everything begins here. The door to Laboratory 7 unlocked with Elena's fingerprint. It wasn't in the system. It wasn't in the company's records. There was only her and the past. Welcome back, Elena, the old AI's voice echoed. Access my father's classified files. A folder appeared, locked by biometric encryption. Elena placed her hand on the scanner. Unlocked, hundreds of files appeared. She selected one, Project EI. The screen illuminated her face. The video began. Her father, younger, his eyes filled with ambition. March 12th, the cloning experiment has succeeded for the first time. Elena froze. No, subjects E and I are developing normally. 2 embryos appeared on the screen. Identical, not natural twins. But copies. We have created human life using our own DNA. The video stopped. The air grew heavy. Elena stepped back, her heart pounding. I wasn't born. Her voice cracked. I was created. She looked at the data. Then Iris. A note appeared. Subject I, unstable genetic defect. Elena swallowed hard. What defect? The screen shifted to the next report, and she wished she had never opened it. Elena, if you're watching this, her father's voice echoed through the audio file. Then it means I have failed. The data appeared line by line, massive cellular collapse. Elena reads slowly, one word at a time. Iris's cells will self-destruct in cycles once she reaches adulthood. She stepped back. Unable to believe it? There's no cure? Another file opened. The only solution, continuous stem cell transplantation from a genetically perfect match. Elena clenched her fists. That's me. Her father's voice continued. I had no choice but to separate Iris to keep her alive. Maintenance. Elena repeated the word. Like a nightmare. You kept her as a laboratory subject. She looked down at her own hands. Then Julian. Everything fell into place. He wasn't saving Iris out of love. Her eyes darkened. He needs her alive. Another file opened. Subject I's reproductive capability remains functional. Elena went completely still. No. She stepped back. No, it can't be. Julian used Iris to give birth to Leo. A deadly silence. Not because of the child. Her voice turned hoarse, but because of what was inside him. Elena opened the final file. File name Project Savior. Her heartbeat slowed. In a terrifying way, Julian's medical records appeared. Abnormal blood markers, a rare genetic mutation, inherited bone marrow degeneration. Elena whispered, incurable unless there's a perfectly compatible donor. She scrolled down and saw Leo's name, genetically engineered embryo, combining Julian's and Iris's DNA. Objective, create a perfectly compatible individual, a savior child. Elena stepped back. Everything shattered. He didn't just manipulate me. Her voice trembled. He manipulated Iris too. Another note appeared. In the event of an emergency, bone marrow, blood, and organs may be harvested. Elena closed her eyes. She couldn't bring herself to breathe. Leo, she whispered, my son. No, that child was brought into this world to be sacrificed. Elena opened her eyes. Her gaze had completely changed. Cold, sharp, dangerous. Iris thinks she's already won. A faint smile appeared, but she has no idea. She stood up straight. She is just another pawn. A beat. And Julian, Elena's eyes darkened. He doesn't need a family. He needs living biological material. She turned away, walked out of the darkness of the laboratory, and for the first time, Elena's plan for revenge was complete. The game's over, Julian. Her voice echoed through the silence. Now it's my turn to rewrite the rules. The shareholders' meeting room was packed. Bright white lights. The air was tight with tension. Today, we will proceed with the transfer of full executive control of Vance Genomics, one shareholder announced. Julian stood up. Beside him, Elena. No, Iris posing as Elena, smiling flawlessly. Thank you all for your trust. The doors burst open. Hold on. Everyone turned. One step, then another. Elena, the real one. No one could say a word. Julian froze. Iris went pale. That's impossible? He took a step back. Elena didn't look at either of them. She walked straight onto the stage, her voice calm. Go ahead, I'd like to see this too. Then she turned toward the screen. But first, a gentle tap. The display changed. Not identity records, not evidence of the impersonation, but medical records, Julian's. These are records of illegal genetic engineering, Elena said clearly. The room erupted in murmurs. To create a child for one purpose only. She paused. Her eyes settled on Julian. To harvest his organs. Leo's name appeared on the screen. Compatibility reports. Harvest protocols. No. Iris stepped backward. No, that can't be. She turned to Julian. You told me it was to save me. Julian said nothing. He only stared at Elena, cornered. Iris trembled. That's my son. Her voice broke. You were going to kill my son? A deadly silence. And for the first time, Iris understood. She wasn't the winner. She was the next victim. Police sirens echoed in the distance. Chaos exploded. Arrest him, one shareholder shouted. But Julian ran. He sprinted toward the parking lot. Leo dragged along with him. Let go of my son. Iris screamed as she ran after them. Elena didn't hesitate. She chased after them. The engine roared. Julian shoved Leo into the back seat. Stop! Iris ran in front of the car. If you leave, you'll have to drive through me. 1 second. 2 seconds. Julian didn't stop. He slammed his foot on the accelerator. Iris! Elena screamed. Everything happened in an instant. Elena lunged forward, shoved with all her strength. Iris and Leo were thrown to the side. And bang! The impact was head-on. Elena's body was hurled into the air. The ground felt ice cold. The sound shattered. Everything went silent. The police rushed in, dragged Julian out of the car. He was still struggling. She can't beat me, he screamed. But this time, no one was listening anymore. Hospital lights flickered overhead. The heart monitor beeped steadily. Iris collapsed to her knees beside the bed. Tears streamed endlessly down her face. Why? Why did you still save me? Her voice choked. After everything I've done to you, Elena lay there, motionless. Then, one finger twitched. Iris froze. Elena. Her eyes opened, slowly, weakly, but alive. Iris burst into tears. You're still here. Elena looked at her. No hatred, only exhaustion. Bring Leo to me. Iris nodded. A few seconds later, a little boy ran into the room. Mom, Leo rushed over, wrapped his arms around Elena, sobbing. I knew you'd save me, Mom. Elena hugged him back, tightly, as if she would never let go again. For the first time, her tears fell. No one will ever take you away from me. Iris stepped back, collapsed to the floor. Take it all back. Her voice shattered. My identity, the company, everything, a beat. I only ask for a chance to make things right. Elena looked at her, silent, then gave a slight nod. A few weeks later, Vance Genomics was back under Elena's leadership. Julian was convicted. Iris accepted treatment and took responsibility for everything she had done. But every week, she was still allowed to see Leo, under supervision. The little boy ran between the two women. No longer afraid, only laughter remained. Elena stood watching, her expression softened. DNA can lie, she whispered, but love can't. She bent down, pulled Leo into her arms. You don't have to carry my genes, a gentle smile. As long as you call me Mom, that's enough. And for the first time, after everything, she was no longer an experiment, no longer a victim. She was a mother, and that is something no sequence of A, T, G, and C could ever define.